So for the mapping part, this is my favorite part. You can use a bunch of thread like this or pre-inked mapping string. I'm gonna rip off a piece. Can you hold this for me? All right, I'll have you wrap it around your finger like this. Good, now hold it tight, but don't break it. I'm gonna take this black Sharpie and just glide it back and forth on the thread until it's coated really nicely. Don't be greedy on this part, just keep going. Okay. All right, Angeles, I'm gonna have to see your nose.
Okay.
Okay. So it's important for me to see her features because I'm mapping everything out according to her face. First things first, I'm going to pinch her nose using a white liquid eyeliner. I'm just going to pinch her nose right here and make a little mark right in the middle, the highest point on the skin. This is the center of her face. We don't measure at the tip of her nose, we just measure at the base. Okay, first line is in the center. You gotta make sure your top hand is straight up. You don't want it to angle in any which way. So that's our first line. I'm gonna pinch again to make sure it's right where it's supposed to be. The next one is the wings of her nostril. Go from here to the end of her eye, right there. And you do the same thing on the other side. And now we're doing the ridge of her nostrils, like right here, going up. So it's hard to kind of get the string right where it's supposed to be right here. So I like to make a mark at the top of her forehead and then bring it down like this. So when you're holding the string, you want to hold with your middle finger like this, and the index finger as well as the thumb is what is going to make the markings. So now what you want to do is double check your work. We're going to measure the distance between this line to the center line and bring it to this side. And it's the same. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Now we're going to measure the top head of her eyebrows and then the bottom head as well as the arch. So you see where her hair grows up here? That's where I'll make my first mark. I just follow her natural hair. Her left eyebrow grows lower than the right eyebrow. You just want to do a straight line like this, and then you find her arch by feeling her brow bone. And her brow bones feel pretty symmetrical. So I'm just going to, you can do the arch two ways. You can do it like this by finding the very top of her arch. Or you can ask, can you open your eyes? Or you can find it by measuring from the wings of her nostril to the outer corner of her iris. Look straight at my forehead. Actually look right in the middle of my face. close your eyes. Did you get that? I didn't get that one. Hold on one more time. All right, close your eyes. So then you can feel if that arch follows her brow bone. So I'm just going to go this way. I'm going to use this technique, which is bringing it straight across, because I want both of her arches to be leveled. All right, so now the fun part, putting it all together. Now the way I find this is you have to take your string and make sure that it crosses the horizontal line right here. So there's a cross right here. And then the other cross is right here. Turn your head this way. And then I'm going to meet this intersection right here. We're making a line like this and slide your string. So this is her arch right here. And her tail is a little short, so we're going to bring it down more. Do you normally make your tail a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do on this side, we do on the other side. I'm going to take this point right here at the top head of her eyebrows and bring it right to the arch and make that mark on this side. So I kind of put an indentation with this caliper, and then I was able to quickly put the line back in with the string. And now I'm going to intersect this, the top head of her eyebrows, to the arch, as well as the center line. So all 3 points are connected. I'll give you a better. Point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This line is super important because all the other lines have to cross exactly on the center line. For example, her arch and her tail are going to have to cross the center line right here, as well as her arch, and right into the tail. And now the bottom line. We're going to cross right here in the middle, right here, and right here. This part takes a lot of practice, but if you keep doing it, you'll get the hang of it. You got to make the bottom line parallel to the top line. Turn your head for me. And the bottom arch, you just have to slide it into that tail where that white dot is. Glide it like this towards the white dot. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. See where this center line crosses? Right here. It's going to touch the bottom head, parallel to the top line. These 2 lines must be parallel to each other. And then we're going to glide her eyebrows like this and into the tail, like so. This is just the rough draft. Now we got to make it look prettier. Okay. I'm going to show you how to sharpen a pencil. I'm going to get this over here, okay? You pull your pencil apart, the paper apart, and this part will be exposed. You're going to take your razor, and very gently, you're going to place your pencil almost flat on your index, and you're going to take your razor and you're going to just shave it off. What you want is a flat edge. Oops, sometimes it breaks off. You're going to flip it to the other side. This part takes practice. When I started out, I used to go through so many boxes of these pencils just to play with. A little bit sharper. The sharper it is, the cleaner your lines will be when you're mapping her brows. Okay. Now I'm going to just soften the arches because we don't want a pointy arch. Put your head back, you can just relax. I'm going to move this back a little bit. So this line right here is perfect the way it is. I don't need to do anything extra to it. I just have to soften the arches because it's like a triangle. If you want, you can go over the line again. This part's a little light, so I'll go over it one more time. And then the bottom. It's always helpful to stretch her eyes or stretch her skin this way, and then take your pinky and stretch up way, this way. So you can get right in there. Now, we don't remove her hairs that's inside of this outline. We want to just clean up the hairs that grows outside of the outline. So I'm just going to take a razor. This is a one-time use razor, and just clean it off like this. You stop right at the black line. As far as the bottom part, I like to pull her eyebrow up like this. Take my other finger and stretch her eye out and get right in there to remove all the extra hairs that grows outside of the line. And then I'm going to take a pointed Q-tip and clean off her eyebrows just a little bit. You don't want to remove the black lines. You just want to, you don't want to remove the black lines that's in her eyebrow, but you can remove some of the lines for mapping. I don't take all of this out yet because I want to show her how I got the shape. Now I'm gonna go the other side. I'm sharpening the arches. I'm just going to double check to see if the thickness of her tail matches the other side. I'm going to pull her skin up like this and stretch it out like that so I can get right underneath. Right. I'm going to clean off her arches and the edges a little bit. And again, I'm going to razor or clean this part off, stretch the skin, and kind of shave down a little. And do some at the bottom. Yeah. Now we got to make sure that the thickness is the same. So this side is a tiny bit thinner. I'm going to stand back and look. Yeah, fix this part. There we go. And that is how you brow mount. Now we just have to get her approval. You ready to look at your eyebrows?
Yes.
Okay. I really encourage you to go back and forth with me. If you don't like your eyebrows, please tell me what I can do to make them better. I don't expect it to be 100% the first time, okay?
Okay.
So tell me.
Okay.
Right. Don't freak out. There's a lot of lines in your face. I'm going to have you come over here. Okay, this is how I got your shape. I pinched your nose up here. That's the center of your face. And then these two lines right here is the ridge of your nostrils going up. That tells me where I need to make my first stroke. Okay. That's where they start. Your tail ends here because it's the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye, all the way up here. Does that feel normal to you or natural, or does that feel too long?
That feels good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing on the other side.
Yeah.
All I did was measure from the wings of your nostril all the way up to the corner of your eye, and that's where it places me. We can always make it longer or shorter. I wouldn't recommend going longer, but we can make it go shorter. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. The thickness of your eyebrows is how I found this line. So your hair grows up here. So I made that line, and your hair grows down here. Is this thickness okay?
Yes.
Or do you feel like it's too small?
No, I think it's good.
Okay.
Yep.
Your arch is now like really leveled out.
Yeah.
It goes one side here to the other. Do you feel like they're even?
Yes. I think maybe a little more rounded.
You want more rounded?
Instead of pointy. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, okay. All right, so, but the thickness is good.
Yes.
We're just gonna work on the pointed side.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna microblade and work inside of this outline. This is just my guide.
Okay.
So as you can see, like right here, how you told me earlier, you were missing a tail.
Yes.
And then this side you have more of a tail.
Yeah.
Both your eyebrows grow where they're supposed to, but she's lacking a little bit, so we'll add some stroke right here. And we'll keep that part looking natural.
Yeah.
And then we'll fill in your arches up here too, because that's what you do. The right eyebrow is just like,
Yeah.
she's the good twin sister. All right, let's go back to the chair and I'll fix. So you want the arches a little bit less archy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to bring this part down. So what I'm doing now is softening her arches because it's a request. And don't expect to get don't expect to get it right the first time. Always encourage your clients to go back and forth. The worst feeling is when they say everything looks good and then 2 days later they come back and say, I want to change my shape. All right. Do you want to go look at your eyebrows one time? Oh, hold on a second. Okay, Kevin, I want you to kind of take a look at this. If you look at her eyebrows, can I cover your nose? Okay. If you look at her eyebrows, you can see that there's a gap right here, some sparse eyebrows right here, some on top in the arch, and a lot of missing hairs in the tail. And this is what we talked about during consultation. So now that we can really see what we're going to do, we're going to shade this part in as well as this part and give her some strokes up here. This eyebrow is really nice throughout the whole entire the whole entire body up into the arch, but the tail over here is lacking a little bit, so we'll do some shading in there too. All right, go look at your arches and let me know if that's good, if you want me to make them softer.
Yes, that's perfect. I like this one a little better than this one.
Okay. Tell me why.
I think
Are you just noticing more of what's missing?
I don't know if it's that. Maybe I think it's the tail though. Like
Okay.
a little. This one's a little thin. I don't know if it's because this one has more hair, but this one's a little thinner than this one.
Okay.
Do you see that, or is it just me?
Let me check.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check with the caliper. It's 4 millimeters. So it's actually the same.
Okay.
I think what's maybe throwing you off is that this part looks a little bit darker and this part's really bare. So if I color this part in, if I colored in your tail a little bit, maybe it'll help. So in this case, she's saying that the tail looks thicker than the other. Sometimes that is the case. Maybe, I mapped her eyebrows wrong or made one thinner or thicker than the other, so we just double check with the caliper. Or it's because the client's not used to seeing her eyebrows shaped this way, so her eyes need to be adjusted. And I'll go this way. And when there's more hair on one side than the other, it naturally just looks bolder. Because she loves this eyebrow, her right eyebrow more, we're not gonna mess with it too much. We're just gonna fill it in and compare to the other side. Excuse me, over this way. I'm just cleaning up the edges a little bit more. Okay, go look. Okay, so after the client approves and she say it's okay, ask her, are you signing off on this? And if she says yes, then make sure she signs off on this.